If there's one thing I like more than anime, it's sports. Nothing wrong with some hockey, some basketball, some baseball, some golf, some volleyball, some tennis, some chukball, if you even know what that is. But I'm talking about the creme de la creme of physical activity. I'm talking about the greatest sport of all time. I'm talking about the beautiful game, football. If I had to choose between watching anime for a week or playing football for a week, I would choose football in a heartbeat. But it's a completely different story when it comes to watching the sport. There's a couple of reasons for this. The pitch is larger than almost any other sports play area, yet the game is played continuously and patiently rather than fast paced and in short bursts. There's also the fact that there's a midfield. The midfield basically adds a completely different dimension to the game and its tactics. It makes football great to watch if you like football, but if you're just looking for entertainment or you don't like football that much, geez, is it a struggle. There's also the unpredictability of football. Just because you have better players doesn't mean that you're the better team in any way. And in my opinion, football is more unpredictable than any other sport, but that's just me. Now, this boredom and unpredictability makes football one of the most difficult things to turn into fiction. Don't get me wrong, I have fond memories of Inazuma 11, and street football is a classic that I will absolutely never forget. But when I think of sports fiction that I love, especially manga, football is the last topic I think of. That is, until recently. About a year ago, I saw a manga called Bluelock. I considered reading it, and then I didn't. But a couple months later, I decided to give it a chance, and to my surprise, Bluelock is pretty good, actually. So good, in fact, that I actually sat down and thought, why isn't it more popular? Or, bigger question, why has an anime adaptation not even been remotely announced? I'm not the only one that thinks this, of course. There's a bunch of other people who are wondering why Bluelock hasn't gotten an adaptation yet, but as someone who loves both football and anime, I'm just here to let you know what Bluelock does right. Maybe even convince you why you should read it as well, but kick back, relax, and without further ado, let me explain to you why Bluelock is a great sports manga. Bluelock is a manga serialized in Weekly Shonen magazine and created by a duo. Munayoshi Kaneshiro, who's probably best known for Jagan, is the author, and Yosuke Nomura, who also drew for the series Dolly Kill Kill, is the illustrator. It centers around Isagi Yuichi, a high school football striker who misses his chance at nationals not because he was selfish, but because he wasn't selfish enough, passing to his teammate who choked the final shot instead of trying to score himself. After rethinking his future in football and feeling bad about literally everything, he comes home dejected. But he gets an invitation to join a program created to develop high school strikers from all around Japan. He hastily and excitedly joins, but when he arrives, him and 300 other people learn that they're about to enter Bluelock, a facility created by the Japanese FA to cultivate and generate a striker of World Cup winning caliber. However, only one person is destined to become that striker that Japan has always looked for. All the others will fall by the wayside, and as a result, will be banned from playing for the Japanese national team in any way, shape, or form for the rest of their lives. After all, the striker is the most crucial part of the football team. I mean, whoever scores the most wins in the end, right? So obviously, get somebody who scores the goals you need to win. Being from a country that isn't too keen or good at football, I can understand why you would want to take civilians' tax dollars and create a giant facility to make the next Messi or Ronaldo, but honestly, wouldn't you want to make a team? After all, football is a team sport whether you like it or not. Isn't defense just as important as offense is? In fact, Messi and Ronaldo, for all of their goals, there's only one international title between them. Isn't it more than just having a striker? Or would you rather just have one guy that can outscore the other team? It's actually a question of would you rather win 5-4 or win 1-0? It's just all a matter of preference. I am more of a defense guy. But this man Jinpachi Ego thinks the exact opposite. You see, Ego was all about egoism, but he isn't flamboyant or explosive about it. He's actually very descriptive and articulate as to why he thinks a striker is exactly what Japan needs, above all other positions. I, at least initially, disagreed with Ego about a lot of things. I still find myself actually verbally disagreeing to text on a page about the inner workings of the mind during a football match. Wow, I need to go outside. But despite all of this, he's the best. He's a jerk, yes, but a smart, patient one. He doesn't speak to anyone specifically, he just observes, gives feedback, and decides the best course of action for Bluelock. Now, I know I just said that Ego is logical, but that doesn't stop him from being kinda ridiculous. This man uses birds taking a dump on your head as an analogy to break down the idea of luck, and ultimately teaching how it isn't chance, but a mechanism used by those whose instinct drives them to take advantage of it. My opinion of Ego is almost a complete 180 from the beginning of the series. At first I hated him, but now he's one of my favorite characters. I don't think I enjoy anything as much as Ego and his approach to the aspects of the game by using his weird form of common sense and still managing to remain calm throughout all of it. As for his unpolished gems, the Bluelock Strikers, they're a completely different story. One that's just as good. Teamwork, cooperation, development. Bluelock has absolutely none of these. You see, because everybody's trying to become the greatest striker the world has ever seen, no one really cares about everybody else. As a result, Bluelock's character development is much less team-centered and much more individualistic. Bluelock's plot progresses through challenges, or stages, meaning that the majority of character development is through playing football rather than just talking about it. Because the facility is isolated, there isn't a lot of outside influence, which again gives more time for the players and the matches rather than the occasional press conference. Everybody interacts and acts like how you expect. There's an awkwardness and tension between people, well, at least at first. But with time, that awkwardness fades away and you get some really weird dynamics. No one is actually cooperating with each other, instead using one another so that they can create more goals. Selfishness is the word that best describes each and every person's development in Bluelock. Overcoming loneliness, boredom, or self-doubt by simply choosing to believe in yourself and your own ability above all else is kinda nice to see. For example, the protagonist, Isagi, always tries to learn how he can create or score goals with his team, no matter the dynamic. But Isagi gets put with arguably the biggest jerk in the facility. How does he deal with him, you may ask? He completely devours him, and by trying to devour him, he gets met with opposition. But by meeting this opposition, both Isagi and his rival grow exponentially. The constant battle of egos is what makes every interaction in Bluelock so satisfying, a sports manga where every character is told to literally only care about themselves, and no one is actually looked down upon for not even glancing in any direction to look for a pass. The acceptance and encouragement of selfishness is what sets Bluelock's characters apart. It's something that I appreciate now that I look back through the manga from where we currently are. It's incredible to see how everybody has developed because they chose to believe in themselves and their own ability to create goals. I've covered Ego and I've covered the players, so how does Bluelock do when it comes to the actual game of football? Short answer is really, really well. Listen, it's hard to put how you think and feel into words, which is why art is so brilliant. It puts abstract ideas into a visual medium, and while it isn't direct, it is the most concise way to comprehend these ideas. Football is no different. I love seeing super-powered upside-down triple twirl bicycle kicks of fire, but I think what makes sports anime and manga so nice to watch and or read isn't the display of supernatural powers, but the look of ordinary people that feel as though they are against or playing with those of such abilities. Which is why Bluelock's art is so impressive. The fact that Kaneshiro and Nomura have perfectly conveyed the feeling of being on a football pitch in the middle of a high-intensity game. Everybody has their own aura, and it becomes more intense as the game goes on. When somebody finally unlocks their full potential, even just for a moment, their aura switches from that of a regular person to that of a demon or a lion. It really goes to show how much being in that zone can completely change the aspect of the game and everybody around you. My personal favorite moments are whenever Isagi finally begins to understand how the match works, and how he's going to create an opportunity to score. Puzzle pieces start to circle around him, almost as though to complete him. The mix of satisfaction, pride, and just downright joy expressed in these panels make me smile all the time. Bluelock makes even the simplest pass impactful, and sets the perfect weight to each and every shot. It encapsulates the power, strength, intensity, and stress that comes with every single football match. Whenever Isagi loses, it's simply another reminder that he isn't nearly as good as he thinks he is. A painful realization that constantly nags in every athlete's head. Seriously, the art in Bluelock is amazing and does such a great job of showing and feeling what it's like to be in the middle of a football match. It's not easy, especially since there aren't any stands, with the facility being isolated and everything. Bluelock's art, coupled with its character development, keeps every single game a movie. And making a sport that sometimes feels about as appealing as watching paint dry that exciting is something that deserves an award in and of itself. Bluelock is in no ways perfect. I understand that slower moments can feel useless and not every character is properly developed, but I wanted to give my thoughts on it as it seems like the most popular manga out right now that doesn't have an anime announcement or anything like that. Bluelock's biggest strength, aside from its art of course, is the fact that it ignores the intimacy of a team dynamic and exchanges it for focusing on the power a selfish, talented individual holds in their hand. Maybe I just want Bluelock to be animated in all of its glory, or maybe I'm just a football nut who really wants a show about his favorite sport to be wildly appreciated by the people, because not everybody's gonna watch street football even if I scream it down every single block. Honestly, if given an anime adaptation, I have no doubt that Bluelock would at least be wildly popular. But who am I to stake claims like that? At the end of the day, it's up to the people on what's popular or not, regardless of whether it's deserved. So until the anime is released, give Bluelock a try. If it bores you, that's fine. If you like it, great. After all, we can't all have the same opinions. But let me know what you think of Bluelock in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey, hi, it is 3:18 a.m. where I'm from. It's Team Campy just checking in. Thanks for listening to the video. If you like it, like and subscribe. But I'm just going to let you know now, anime and manga is the main focus on the channel. Let me know if you want to see anything in the comments below. Feedback would also be appreciated. And oh yes, this is my first time doing anything like scripted like that, and I had to watch my language seriously, man. I almost swore so many times. I am so sorry. One more thing. One more thing. Don't forget to touch some grass. Please go outside, for the love of God. Go outside. Another thing, drink water, get the right amount of sleep, and read a book. Yeah. Too much screen is bad for your eyes. You don't want that. So, anyways, it's been Tim Campy. I'll see y'all in the next video. Catch you on the flip side.